Oh boy, it's time to get goofy. Now, I've obviously been covering games here on this channel for like a better part of half a year now, and we've covered some Unity games. We'll cover some Unity games again in the future. And that's why I think it's so important to chip in with my sort of thoughts on the story, because as probably I'd say mostly all of the internet have heard by now, Unity has been going fucking wacko mode here. They've been going outright insane style. They're out here doing some weird shit, sniffing the glue, you know? And I sort of just wanted to chime in with my thoughts on all of it, partially because I think it's super funny, and partially because I think it is sort of also worrying, and as a trend, or like something that could happen, it's weird. So let's just get straight into it. Now, to give you the quick recap of the new changes to Unity, one of the only really big issue there is the fact that they'll include what they call a runtime fee, which is essentially every time a game is installed, then it would cost the developers a couple of cents. So if you purchase Cult of the Lamb and then installed it, then they'll pay like 125 cents or something like that. Like not a whole lot of money, but enough to the point where it would sort of start to dig in. So after a couple of days and a lot of confusion, Unity released a Q&A, and I'm gonna read you some highlights from it before we move on. Now, within those Q&A questions, things such as if a user reinstalls/re-downloads a game, would they count as multiple installs? The answer to that is no, it wouldn't. Initially, it was thought that it would because the developer from Unity had on their own forums said that yes, it would matter of fact count as being multiple installs, but apparently that's not going to be the case. Then another one was, do installs of the same game by the same user across multiple devices count as different installs? Yes, because they were on different devices. So if you purchased Cult of the Lamb and installed it on your main PC, then you upgraded your PC, like you got a new PC, then it would be a new device and therefore be a new install of the game, meaning that the charge would happen again. Another couple of huge clarifications would be that charity bundles, or like bundles in general, would literally not count towards the fee. However, they don't mention things such as the Epic thing where they're giving out a free game, like whether that'll count towards it, because that would kind of suck, right? Like Epic Games gives out your game for free and all of a sudden you're like in debt because of it. Like that'd be fucking harsh, right? It also isn't gonna affect any stream games, meaning shit from like what is it called? The Gaming Cloud Shield, I think. GeForce Shield is not going to be counted. And it's also not going to apply to subscriptions, meaning Game Pass, essentially. Like that literally just won't have anything. Then the most funny thing that they, have a Q&A section for is, isn't this a huge impact on indies? And their answer to that, right? Their answer, and I don't believe this for shit, and I'm just gonna read it out, right? This increase does not impact the majority of our customers. In fact, based on internal data, more than 90% of our customers will not be affected by that change. I would love to see that data, because that seems extreme. Other people have done the same calculations, have realized that a couple of studios would literally go bankrupt, and more than half of your customers would lose half of their revenue. There's no way what they're saying here is true. And as a slight side note, I really want to just call out the fact that they are being completely obliterated in the comments. This being my favorite comment from that entire thing. Unity, you have betrayed the trust of your customers completely. You have removed the GitHub repo to track your license changes and sneakily updated the terms of service to remove the clause that users could stick to of the license of previous LTS versions. Essentially, Unity used to, doesn't anymore, have a clause where if you installed Unity, let's say 4 years ago, that version of Unity's license would essentially be the one you are under. They updated that to not have it anymore. That means if you installed Unity 4 years ago and released the game 4 years ago, then you would still be under the new price change. Now, that brings us all to, well, not today, but a couple of days ago, where Unity released an open letter written by Mark Whitten, which, by the way, hi, Mark. And that is essentially an apology letter to the community. We're going to read through some of it and just like digest it in the best way we can here. Now, within this letter, they mention things such as, we should have spoken to more of you, and we should have incorporated more of your feedback before announcing the new runtime fee policy. Our goal with this policy is to ensure that we can continue to support you today and tomorrow and keep you deeply invested in our game engine. You are what makes Unity great, and we know it. No shit! The game developers are what makes the game engine worth anything to like the general person out there. 90% of us doesn't even know what the fuck Unity is. We are here for the games, man. And the thing is, these changes could affect the games, and that's why we're here talking about it. That's why that's a problem. And it continues, however. You will make Unity great, and we know it. We need to listen to you and work hard to earn your trust. I'm going to say it right here as well, and I know Motorhorse mentioned it, but I will as well. Don't trust Unity. Not after what they've done. They don't earn our trust anymore, and you shouldn't trust them. They've shown that they are willing, more than willing, they actually want to encourage fucking us over pretty hard, like as a game developer. And that is just straight up not something you should be, trusting anymore. Especially with the sneaky way they went about removing some of the licenses and stuff, like it's just not okay. So, don't trust Unity. Now, to get into the meat of it, they mentioned that the Unity runtime fee will not be included on the personal package, which is what a lot of free games that use Unity use, which is fine. That's really good. It also means that itch.io, horror games and shit like that, won't be touched. They'll also be removing the requirements to use the Made with Unity splash screen, so no longer will that exist as a jump scare every time you open your game. And I mean, that's fairly alright, but the Pro and Enterprise plan will still have the runtime fee, which kinda not a big fan here, I'm not gonna lie. That seems kinda saucy to me. I don't know, that's like a really, really, really shit way of doing things. I still think the runtime fee is dumb. However, Unity does need to make money, and they have, as far as I know, been operating basically at a loss since they started. So yeah, that's still not really changed there. And essentially, they're also making the change, which I am very happy about, that no game that makes less than $1 million in 12 months will be subject to the fee. Meaning that if you have a game and it's not making you $1 million in 12 months, you won't have any fee. That is huge. That is a gaming. That is bonkers. That's some good shit right there. More of that. That's perfect. That's what we need. Then I mentioned for those creators are in Unity Pro and Enterprise, we also make some changes based on your feedback. The runtime policy will apply beginning with the next LTS version of Unity shipping in 2024 and beyond. Your games that are currently being shipped and projects that you're currently working on will not be included. That means if you have a live service game or anything like that you're currently right now working on, they won't be included within the new pricing changes, which is great. Or any games that are shipping now. They'll also make sure that you can stay on the terms for the version of Unity you downloaded. Meaning that if you have an older version of Unity, you should be completely able to avoid them. Which, from me to you, just attempt to find an older variant on Google, man. Honestly, whatever changes they can make, it's just not worth it anymore. And then they mention for games that are subject to a runtime fee, we're giving you a choice of either 1.2% of revenue share or calculate the amount based on numbers of people engaging with your game each month. Both of these numbers are self-reported from the data you already have available. You'll always be billed the lesser amount. So essentially, you can either choose to provide them data of the amount of people who are playing your game each month if you're making more than 1 million in 12 months. Or just accept that they're going to take a 2.5% of your revenue. And then they mentioned that they want to, just suck people's cock off. Essentially, they want to build a better engine, that they want to, be there for the industry, be there for the developers. And the truth is, even with all of this, I'm going to call bullshit. This is a change that will majorly affect everybody within the gaming space, and it's not a good change. It's still not up to par, and in my opinion, it is unethical as all living hell. Because here's the thing. This would be like if Adobe Premiere Pro, a software that I use to edit, took money from me every time you watched one of my videos. That wouldn't make sense. I am making nothing on these. So it's like, what is this? This is not money Unity have earned. They are the tool that are being used to make a project. They are not the project. They're not the makers of it. They don't deserve part of that. It would be like if a painter had to pay the people who produced his paint for like the money he made on the painting. That wouldn't make any sense. Imagine this world, right? You make a YouTube video and you have to pay Adobe every time somebody watches it because you used Adobe Premiere as an editing software. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Why would you do that? Like, I think it's unethical as a business to have that be your entire like identity with runtime and everything. I don't think that's cool. I don't think that's okay. I don't think that's acceptable. And as somebody who has dabbled into game development and probably will again in the future, I will not be using Unity anymore. And I hope any developers out there who have the chance will also switch away from Unity. They don't deserve your trust. They don't deserve you as a customer. There are plenty of other engines out there. I'm just going to mention Godot. It's an open source engine that you can download. It should be, as far as I know, it's fairly easy to use, being that it's easy within programming, which is to say it's hard as fuck. But it's something that you can definitely switch to. There are probably going to be other options. Unreal Engine also is a good one that's free. Like you can just download and start digging around with it and then see if that's something you want. And like there are other options out there, but it's just the two that comes to mind for me. Unity isn't alone on the market, and it's definitely going to go extinct. Well, it's not definitely going to go extinct, but it's definitely going to be used less now. And as a developer, I don't think you should trust them again with your time or money or projects because they aren't worth trusting. That being said, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around and thank you for listening to my thoughts on this. It's been something that's been brewing on my mind. And I just didn't want to release a video before I felt like the story had somewhat finished, at least to some degree. And it seemingly has now. If it hasn't, I'm going to make an update video. So, stick around for that. Otherwise, I'm going to go back to just dicking around with video games. I hope to have a video done on Nightmare Reaper soon. So let's, look forward to that. So I'll see you all in the future. Bye-bye.